Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Curtis Podcast Network. This AFC South show number 37. As always, I am joined by Blake Bellamy. Blake, what's up, man?
Good, man. It's been awesome during the off season. I love this time of year. It's so much fun.
I couldn't agree with you more. This first week of free agency has been so full of trades and news and rumors and all these like ridiculous signings. I can't wait to dive into it. Speaking of trades and whatnot, finally, over a year in the making, Desean Watson makes his exit from Houston and is now a Cleveland Brown. 3 first-round picks, a third and a fourth, with a fifth going as with Desean to Cleveland. I think that's a pretty good haul, considering the guy's probably going to get a suspension.
Yeah.
And he didn't play at all last year, and the last time he did play, he played well, but we only got 4 wins. So I don't know exactly what everybody is expecting here. There's a lot of people who think that the Texans didn't get enough, and I just don't understand that. Do you think the trade was lopsided or anything?
No, I don't think it was lopsided. I don't think I would have given up 3 firsts. I wouldn't have. I don't think if I was a Browns fan, I don't think I'd be super happy with it. However, you're still getting Desean Watson. Like, he's still a huge upgrade from Baker Mayfield. My only issue, one is, like you said, he might get suspended. 2, he hasn't played in a while. 3, he only won 4 games. Like, he's a great talent, but is he a winner? We don't really know. I mean, he was, he did win you guys a couple of division championships, but he was hurt a lot. And I feel like it's a risk, and you're also giving him a $240 million fully guaranteed contract. And that was a terrible contract. The trade, I think, was good. Contract was horrible. Because he could not be good. A long time without football, it's hard on anybody.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree. I feel like the contract was kind of a lot, but he really wasn't hurt that often. He got hurt his rookie year, and then after that, he started, with the exception of last season. I'm glad that he's off the books. We got like $31 million in cap space right now, with 51 in dead money. So they didn't really take his contract, but we got one hell of a haul for the guy who basically hasn't played since 2020. January of 2021 is when he requested the trade. So here we are 14 months after that. And, as a Texans fan, I'm excited for what Casario's got in store. He's going to absolutely make some more moves. He still wants to trade back from number 3. So I think that even in that process, we'll probably pick up another future first round and maybe some second or later round picks in addition.
I think unless there's like just a can't miss prospect at 3, you guys should definitely trade back and just get more picks. And I do like what you just said is Casario is doing great. He did do one just strange move a couple days ago with the whole Blake Cashman trade, which is not good. But
I mean, it was for like a
6th round next year.
Yeah, next year. So
it was just weird. It's like the guy's done nothing in his career. Although you could have easily just spent that 6 on anybody else, but that was minor. But
I think they just want to bring younger dudes into the building. I think that's their whole thing is, the last year we brought in, I think it was like 48 people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most of them were, 1-year contracts where on a prove it deal or, somebody's an older veteran. So, I'm excited for the fact that it's actually going to be somebody younger who, if they cut, it's not going to be that big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works out, we've got him for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't necessarily hate the Cashman trade because Blake Cashman is a fast guy for a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
But he really hasn't had much time to play. I mean, CJ Mosley is still there, I think, right? And didn't he come back?
I think so.
Yeah, CJ Mosley and
I feel like he also got suspended at one point.
Probably. I don't know. That guy's never actually on the field. But there's just that's probably the worst move he's made, and it could
It
work
wasn't
out.
even a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, and like it could work out, and even if it doesn't, it's a low risk move, which Casario is known for. He's going to take some low risk moves to kind of fill a spot. I would say the worst move he's made to date is, for whatever reason, we hired the Jaguars offensive line coach, who's never created a good offensive line and can't get the most out of the offensive lineman there. And then they bring a Jaguars offensive guard, AJ Cann, in free agency.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
not good there either.
well, he was hurt a lot. I think he missed
Yeah.
like 22 games in the last couple seasons. But I mean, he's 28, 29 years old. I don't think he's anything more than what some of the other 1 year contracted linemen we had, like a Lane Taylor from last season.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think he's just a temporary upgrade. Maybe he doesn't even play, but I mean, right now they're saying that they're not going to trade Tunsil anymore. So Tunsil's going to be on the left. They've already brought back Justin Britt. AJ Cann will be the right guard, and then they'll just have to figure out who's going to play right tackle and left guard.
Mhm.
And it could be Titus Howard, or they could trade somebody. I don't know.
Yeah,
They've got,
you guys got a lot of picks too coming.
yeah, two first round picks in each of the next 3 drafts. I'm excited about that, especially after 3 of the last 4 years we didn't even have a pick. So
Yeah, you're getting Browns. They're still Browns. They're still going to be picking early, probably.
yeah. I mean, the Browns were a team last year that should have been in the playoffs and
Browns
very
always find
well
a way to lose.
underperformed.
They always
Yeah.
find a way to lose.
Yeah. But anyway, the Titans had a trade recently. Robert Woods, 6th round draft pick. That's not a bad swap right there.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, especially the last 10 years of 6th round picks, most of them haven't been good. David Long is the only one we really hit on in the last 10 years. So no one's gonna be better in the 6th round than Robert Woods. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
His contract is kind of rough. It's 13.5-ish million this year. However, if we restructure him, we'll save around 9 million in cap, which would be pretty great.
Yeah.
And there's also an out next year with no dead money, so we can cut him next season with really no losses.
Yeah.
And so that's fine. So I'm happy with the trade. I'm really tired of them getting a bunch of guys in wheelchairs coming to the Titans, and it's frustrating. I just wish we'd get people that are in here ready to contribute, because it's really not fair to Tannehill. It's very hard to build chemistry if you have a different receiver you're throwing to every week.
Yeah, it's not even just a different receiver. It's just,
Set of them. There's
You're-
tight
it's
ends and everything.
well, different receivers, different tight ends, the offensive line's in flux, but also you're not able to practice with them until they're healthy.
Mhm.
You like it's one thing to be in the room doing film study with your receiving core, your offensive line, and tight end group, but it's a completely different to be able to run the routes and throw the ball and learn the timing. That's where Ryan Tannehill and AJ Brown have been able to really succeed, is they've been around each other enough to know when AJ Brown's going to make a cut, where to put the ball, and how fast to throw it, how high to put it over the linebacker, or how high AJ can go up for it. And that's really what you're looking for. But it just really does suck for the Titans that it seems like everybody they bring in is either hampered by a hamstring or torn ACL or something. I think the only success, like outright success, of the Titans' history of drafting somebody or picking up somebody that was hurt is Jeff Simmons.
Yeah, he's the only one.
And he's turned into an absolute beast. And I think that's one of those things where you do something once and it worked really, really well, so you continue to try to kick the tire and kick other tires to see if you might be able to find another one. But it just does not come to fruition yet.
Yeah, they needed to do that on like low risk guys. So yeah, it did work once at a high risk 1st round position, but I understand there, because Simmons, I mean, he was projected to be a top 5 pick before he tore that ACL. So
Yeah.
getting him at, I think, 19, where he was drafted at, I can understand getting that. Like, all right, we can't miss this guy. They were like, it's our favorite prospect. He's here. Let's take him. But Robert Woods, I mean, don't get me wrong. Robert Woods is a great football player. He's good at everything. He's good at blocking. He's good at catching, running routes, yards after catch, everything. So it's nice to have him here. But yeah, I mean, I don't expect him to be back for training camp. Probably not preseason. Hopefully week 1. But even then, week 1, I don't expect anything to really happen.
Yeah.
But it's a low risk. I'm glad we finally did this on a low risk instead of keep using first round picks on cripples and signing like Bud Dupree to $80 million and off of torn ACL. It's just, I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah. Fulton, or not Farley. Farley with his back injury.
Yeah, the guy's been injured in every position, and most of his non-contact. That guy's made of glass. Like, I feel like you can just throw me out there, and we'll both get injured at the same rate.
Yeah, probably. Oh man,
we'll both make it 3 or 4 plays, and then we're on a stretcher by the end of it. I mean, I hope he gets great. I hope Farley becomes the next Deion Sanders, but I have no hope for that guy. I've already cut my losses with him.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I felt with oh God, who was it? The Texans, when we were in like middle school, drafted a guy named Travis Johnson.
Oh yeah, safety, right?
No, defensive tackle.
Oh, I don't even remember him then.
Exactly. He was terrible. He started probably like 9 games his rookie season, and then I think we cut him like midway through the second season. Never did anything anywhere. He was terrible. I was that way because with him, because I think I remember reading stuff about the way he was like acting at practice and not showing up to stuff. So I think that, you're just going to get those guys every now and then that slip through the cracks as far as personality or, injury history goes. You just really hope that you are wrong with your initial assessment on those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you never are. Your initial assessment is usually pretty correct. But anyway, so we've got free agency news for the Colts, and that's really, I mean, that's about it for the Colts. I mean,
their news is there's no news really.
Yeah, they've brought back a couple players. They traded Rock Ya-Sin for Yannick Ngakoue, which should give them a decent edge threat.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fair trade too. I feel like both sides benefit from that one.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a mutually beneficial trade, absolutely. Although, well, I mean, Rock Ya-Sin hadn't played that great, but...
Yeah, he is much younger, though, and I think he was a second-round pick, so he's got some potential. I feel like he's gotten better every year.
Yeah, he definitely has improved season over season. And then... I'm pretty sure they're not bringing back left tackle Eric Fisher, so they're going to have to draft something there. But this is one of the most rich draft classes for offensive and defensive linemen that I think we've seen in a while. And I would expect basically any team that needs to draft a lineman on either side of the ball is going to be able to find them in like droves, like just packs. They're just roaming the streets of wherever the draft is being held. And
in Vegas, I believe, this year.
Yeah. Oh, well, they're definitely roaming the streets in Vegas during the draft. Just
a lot of guys getting arrested that week.
Oh, yeah. Hey, do you remember when the draft was in Nashville and the Texans drafted a tight end and Ryan Griffin, the Texans tight end, broke some glass downtown?
Oh.
He punched like a glass wall and shattered it or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was just hanging out, partying downtown, and then a draft pick came in for the Texans, and it was a tight end, and he was like, "Are you no?"
Damn, I didn't know that. I was there day one of it. It was
nice.
Raining a lot.
Naturally.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got to see Jeff Simmons get drafted. I was very indifferent that day. I was not happy. I was just tired of all these injured guys. I was like, another one, and he had a criminal record. Of course.
Well, who else? I feel like the only people... I feel like if the Titans don't draft somebody with a record, the only other team that does is the Cowboys.
Bengals do too.
All right, fair enough. But the Bengals are the Cowboys, and it's mostly the Cowboys, I feel like, because Jerry Jones is just the most ridiculous human being to ever.
And also we can't forget the Raiders, man.
Oh, that's true too.
They
And
love criminals.
speaking of the Raiders, they had that huge move to get Devontae Adams, which I
That
didn't
was a
see.
lot.
That was a lot.
That was a
But
lot.
now the Fresno boys are playing together,
I
and
think that'll be fun. Those two, apparently, Devontae actually, yeah, I mean, they're best with their college roommates, everything. Like, he actually bought a house next to Derek Carr a few weeks ago. So
that's
it's like, I wonder if
hilarious.
he knew he was getting traded there or like he just wanted to live near his boy in Vegas.
I don't know, probably,
He's rich. I mean, I feel like he can do whatever he wants. So,
especially with that new payday they just gave him,
he
5 years.
chose, the Packers actually uh, offered him more, but he chose to go to Vegas because no state tax.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
He does not want to give the government any extra money, and I get it because he'd be given like $10-something million on that huge contract
Yeah, forget that.
for them to do nothing, not fill potholes.
Yeah, for them to be like, we're sorry, we tried. Anyway.
Yet give themselves raises.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit. But I've got Over the Cap pulled up here, and we will be viewing upon. So I've already got it up for the Texans. I mentioned it earlier. 51 in dead money here.
Shout out to Desean Watson.
Shout out to Sean Watson. 31.4 in total cap space this season. So I could see us going for maybe a couple more splash type guys.
Honestly, with all that money you guys got, you guys should get like a roll the dice on a Mariota or somebody just to kind of give Davis Mills a veteran and someone to possibly compete.
Yeah.
Like a Jameis Winston.
I wouldn't mind bringing in some offensive line help, spending the first round picks that we get on a tackle and a guard. I'm super cool with that. But looking here at the Colts, they still have 40 million in cap space. Most of that being eaten up here by Buckner, Nelson, and Ngakoue.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Leonard.
I didn't realize Ngakoue's contract was that high.
Yeah, looks like 13 million. It's not that.
Also, didn't realize he was younger than I expected. He was terrorizing us when he was Jags for the longest.
Yeah, well, I think they traded him to the Ravens.
But
When his
then he went to the Ravens, and then last year he went to the Raiders, I believe. Maybe he's a piece of shit. And
no, he went to the Ravens and then the Vikings and then the Raiders.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I think they traded him to Minnesota first, but they have almost 7 million in dead money, 40 million in cap space. If the Colts don't find an answer at Q, be that Baker Mayfield or somebody in the draft, if they draft Willis, they don't have a chance. Willis, I don't like Willis's game. He played at Liberty. He didn't really have a lot of competition. And if you listen to the guy talk, he doesn't sound like the guy that you want on your team.
Okay.
Like there was something is like somebody asked him, how do you feel about watching film? When did you start watching film and trying to dissect your own game? He's like, oh, I didn't do that till I got good at football. So like freshman year of college or something. Like just sophomore. The terrible answer. Terrible answer. So I mean, with that, I was just like, wow, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody should be looking at that guy as the answer.
I don't think he'll be ready by their second or their first pick anyway, because they didn't even have a first rounder.
Right. That's true. But I could see them trading up or something. I don't know. The Colts just make a lot of head-scratching moves in the offseason. They'll bring in a quarterback that shouldn't probably be starting, and they'll be somehow right in the thick of it.
They're the Colts. I think this is Frank Reich's and Chris Ballard's last year. I know everyone praises that Chris Ballard is the best GM, but besides the 2018 draft, when he got Brad Smith and Quentin Nelson and Darius Leonard, what has he done?
Yeah.
Nothing. I think he's going to be gone this year. They keep dropping the ball. They have so much cap every single year. They never spend it. They don't really draft all that great.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Pittman's all right. Jonathan Taylor's pretty good, but That's it. Like they get some, but it's just not a good team. They keep getting the quarterback position wrong every year.
Every year.
Six quarterbacks, 6 years. It's not good.
And then they had a net loss on the Carson Wentz deal.
Oh,
I
terrible.
mean,
Like everything was bad about that.
oh yeah. I mean, they traded a first for him and then ended up getting a second and possibly 2/3. That one of them could be another second, but we'll see. But now we got the Jags here, who dropped, I think it was like almost 300 million on the first day
For
of
not
free
good
agency.
players.
Yeah, for mediocre players. Well, outside of, I would say that Christian Kirk's not necessarily mediocre. He's an above average player.
He's paying like a top 3 receiver.
But yeah, they are paying him at the time he signed the contract before Devontae Adams signed his. He was the highest paid wide receiver. It's like $20 million a season over 4 years for a guy who's never had 1,000 yards. You're going to let DJ Chark walk out of the building and go. I don't even know where he went. I can't remember right now.
I think he went to the Lions.
That's right. Need to go to the Lions. Evan Ingram, which I actually liked on this. It's a little overpriced at a $9 million tag, but it's a 1-year prove-it deal. And I think that Evan Ingram kind of needed a new scenery. New York was not treating him right. But Brandon Scherf hasn't played more than like 8 games in a season in the last 3 years.
Yeah, look at his age.
Yeah. So, while on paper some of these moves fill holes that are massive and needed help, I don't know that these guys are actually filling anything. I think they're just they're just bodies.
Yep, I completely agree. They did not have a good offseason.
No.
Now they have 13 million cap, which is, it's decent, I guess, but
yeah.
They just wasted so much.
And finally, the AFC South champ Tennessee Titans here. And we're looking at 5.6 in cap space, almost 9 in total dead money, with their biggest money.
Why is this not higher?
Yeah. With their biggest contracts obviously being Tannehill, Dupree, Kevin Byard. Julio is gone here, so that'll be adjusted.
Yeah, that'll take place after June 1st.
Yeah,
so that's why he's still there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, they already got Robert Woods on here with his cap hit. Danico Autry. Landry's cap hit isn't that bad for that extension he just signed.
Yes, this year it's very cap friendly. Next year it's going to be what you predict, around like $17-18 million in cap.
That makes sense. And then they need to be trying to save room for AJ Brown and Jeff Simmons.
Luckily, Jeff Simmons definitely will pick up his 5th-year option, which I believe it's really only the second option that has been picked up underneath J-Rob's draft class. The first one being Adoree Jackson, who they cut, and then it'll be Jeff Simmons.
I got you.
We can't draft him.
Did you guys restructure Zach Cunningham's deal?
Yes, we restructured him.
Thank God.
Yeah, he was around 10 million.
Yeah, that would have down now to just under 4. That definitely helped a lot.
So he'll definitely be back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That you don't have much cap space left. I feel like any move you're gonna have to make, you're probably gonna have to cut somebody to make, unless you're signing kind of lesser known players.
We will get $9 million back after June 1st with Julio. So that's going to be big. I don't see us cutting anyone. I do expect us fully to restructure Kevin Byard and Derrick Henry, though, and possibly Taylor Lewan. I don't think they'll cut him, especially at this juncture now.
Yeah, that'd be a lot to kind of cut him now, but
we can't restructure Tannehill because he restructured last year. That's why his cap is so high right now.
Yeah. Man, you guys really backed yourself into a corner with Tannehill.
Yep. Well, let's keep overpaying for injured guys. That doesn't help. And then, like you said, we got to save money for AJ Brown, who needs to get re-signed ASAP because that market's going to keep going up.
Yeah. And here is the list of every AFC South signing. Houston brought back Jeff Driscoll, the quarterback, who he didn't play at all last year. There was a couple articles that came out during the season that he was transitioning to the tight end position,
I remember that. Yeah.
and essentially that was just because of the lack of depth at tight end, and it wasn't really ever going to stick. So I guess he's sticking around as the Q. They brought back Royce Freeman and signed, I'm not even going to pronounce that guy's name, Dare.
Sorry, Ogunbowale.
Ogobowale?
Yeah.
Ogunbowale.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah. And then we signed Chris Conley, I believe the Georgia boy, to a 1-year, $2 million deal. Super cheap. Farrell Brown re-signs with us. We bring former Bengals offensive lineman Cedric Ogboy. Justin Britt comes back. AJ Cann, as we talked about. Somebody no one is talking about in this re-sign period and free agency is Malik Collins. Malik Collins played pretty well for the Texans every game that he was in. I think he missed maybe 4 games or something. I could be wrong on that number, but he played lights out when he was in the game. So I was very excited to see that they brought him back. This was probably the largest deal that I've seen anybody get under the tutelage of Caserio. 2 years, $17 million.
It's a pretty good deal too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, he was a pretty good football player.
Yeah, he
I
played.
would have overpaid for him.
The Blake Cashman trade, of course. We brought back Christian Kirksey, who played really well for us down the stretch on defense. Jalen Reeves-Maybin, a Tennessee boy, 2 years, $7.5 million. So what is that, like 3.75 a season? And then Akura Kono, I don't know. I think he played with the Lions last year. We re-signed Terrence Brooks. MJ Stewart was a special teams guy. I think for I can't remember who he played for. Maybe the Panthers or something. And then we brought back Desmond King, former Titan, former Charger, 2 years, $7 million. Yeah, former All-Pro, not too long ago.
King, yeah, he's a good football player. I'm shocked that you guys got him that cheap. Like he consistently signs low deals. Like I wonder if he has like a really just bad agent or he just doesn't care about money. Because he does this a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, as we mentioned, there's not a lot going on with the Colts here. Mo Alley Cox comes back, 3 years, $18 million. Matt Pryor won 5.5, $6 million with incentives. Tyquan Taylor resigns. The Yannick Ngakoue, Rocky Sin trade. Zaire Franklin, and the only corner to come in so far, Brandon Faison. I believe he played his last ball with the Washington football team.
I do like that Zaire Franklin re-signing though. He was underrated. He's good for them.
He is a good player.
Good to have him back.
Jacksonville brings in Zay Jones on an $8 million per season basis.
Horrible signing.
And it could be even more with a max value of 30 over 3 years. The 4-year max value, $84 million Christian Kirk signing. Evan Ingram, Cam Robinson getting overpaid on the franchise tag. Brandon Scherf getting a 3-year, near $50 million deal. 30 fully guaranteed, $33 million in the first 2 years. They're definitely front-loading this man's contract. Tyler Shatley, which is probably one of the best last names in all of the NFL. And then Foley Fatukasi.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty close for like the first time we ever tried to pronounce that name. And then Foye Aluakun. I like him as a linebacker. I think he was the tackle leader last season. Signs a 3-year, $15 million per season deal. 28 fully guaranteed. This, they're just handing money out to anybody.
I feel like you have to overpay to get anybody in Jacksonville.
But they were overpaying so hard that other when teams are calling players, they are trying to figure out what Jacksonville already offered them, and they're like, we can't pay you that.
No, we'll give you half.
Yeah, and they're like, we can't. They're like, nah. Jacksonville want me for $10 million a season. It's like, dude, you're a punter. Like, like what are you talking about? And then, of course, I actually forgot entirely that Austin Hooper came in for the
Yeah,
Titans.
I love that signing. But he's
Huge
another
sign.
cripple.
He is a little bit of a cripple, but he has the propensity to be a really solid tight end there.
Yeah.
Tannehill loves his tight ends, and I think the better the tight end is, the more trust he has in him. So, I think he's already healthy. So at least he'll be able to get some practice reps with Tannehill in the meantime.
Yeah.
Which should help.
Well, and we had no tight ends last year, and that was really felt. So it is really glad to get it. I mean, he's a two-time Pro Bowl tight end. He didn't do great with Browns, but I mean, look who their quarterback was. So
exactly.
I really do hope I think he's gonna be good, and I love one-year prove-it deals. So there's no risk, high reward.
They brought back Swaim. Ben Jones comes back on a team-friendly $7 million per season. Jamarco Jones from the Seattle Seahawks. The contract extension of, I guess it is an extension. Harold Landry. And then they brought back Buster Screen, who played probably his best football in the last 5 years with the Titans. And then one of the most important signings every offseason, the long snapper. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people don't really care about that one. They're like, what does LS even mean? And I get that a lot, honestly. But regardless, for people who don't understand the importance of signing your long snapper, you want the continuity between your punter, your holder, and your field goal kicker to remain as the same as possible. You don't want any hiccups. If you got somebody good, you hold on to them until the wheels fall off. It's the only position in the NFL that I feel like you get that kind of deal with. And I always like seeing long snappers get signed because essentially you play, 4 or 5 snaps a game. Well, probably like 10 snaps a game, and nobody can hit you.
Yeah,
and you'll get paid.
Yeah, and he is one of the better long snappers really in NFL history. The guy's been in the NFL for like 14 years, tons of Pro Bowls. Mm-hmm. But we also, it's not on this list, which is kind of weird. I guess they just don't like special teams. But we got a kick returner, Trent Cannon from San Francisco. So finally gonna have a kick returner. And then also they re-signed Brett Kern and re-signed Randy Bullock. So we did bring all of our special teams guys back and then added Trent Cannon.
That should definitely help keep the continuity of the special teams where it was. Because that was definitely, like, last season was probably the best I've seen in a long time out of the special teams unit from the Titans.
And then 2 years ago, we had the worst, whenever they rolled with Gostkowski, we had the worst field goal percentage in NFL history. It was terrible. And then Randy Bullock, I mean, he wasn't perfect, but I mean, he was pretty damn good. I'm glad they brought him back.
Me too, honestly. Randy Bullock was a rookie when he came in for the Texans. I liked him when he was there. He had a huge leg. And then he went and played in Cincinnati for like 8 or 9 years, it felt like, and did pretty well. So, I mean, just seeing him do well is always nice. Just kind of like, hey, he started in Houston.
Pac-Man Jones was talking about Randy Bullock and did not have any good words to say about him. He was on 104.5, was just talking mad crap about Randy Bullock. So he's not a fan of that. But Pac-Man Jones is not the most insightful young man in the world. He just good.
That's accurate.
I would never take any of his advice.
No, unless it was like which strip clubs to avoid.
And even then, like, what's your definition of avoiding, Pac?
That's true. He doesn't really avoid much of anything. He just kind of runs head into it. It's a problem. We're going to be having Drew Dougherty come on next week. For those who don't know, Texans TV host Drew Dougherty will be on, and then we'll have a surprise guest on the 31st. Someone from 104.5 The Zone will be joining us for roughly 10-15 minutes, and it's going to be a good time. So make sure you don't miss that. Blake, do you have any closing remarks?
No, I'm excited to see every time ESPN goes off on my phone. I'm excited to look at it. It's a good off season. I'm ready for this. I
It
love
is a
it.
good offseason. Is there anybody in free agency that you'd like the Titans to go for? Has Bobby Wagner found a home yet?
It's not. I would be interested in that. He was a 4-3 guy though. Um, I don't know. I would like another like corner. I'd have to check the market, see which corners are out there, but I would definitely like a starting caliber corner.
Yeah, I've heard that they would probably have to bring in a veteran presence at corner anyway.
I don't trust Farley, and
Yeah,
then
no.
maybe another like starting caliber um, lineman. I would love Dennis Kelly back. That's the dream.
Yeah. There's been rumors of it that the Undertaker could come back.
With
So,
especially with his brother as a passing game coordinator now.
yep. I didn't even realize they were family. That makes sense.
Yeah, the
Makes
brothers.
so much sense. Tim Kelly and Dennis Kelly. All right. Duh.
They look
All
alike too. Just
Uh,
one's gigantic, and the other's a normal human size.
right. So with Houston, I just want us to pick up more offensive linemen. I don't think we can go wrong with it at this point. Pick up more offensive linemen and
You
corners.
always need them. Always need 'em.
Exactly. They're never going to go out of style. You're always going to need them. So pick up what we can now, draft more, and maybe we can trade some of the people we don't want for something else. But
I do
regardless,
have.
keep going.
Sorry, I do have one thing we would be do a disservice if we didn't talk about it.
Oh,
Is who do you think and who do you want the Colts to get at quarterback? I know we talked about this briefly before we started, but we didn't touch on it here.
yeah, you're right. Oh man. Well, with the reports that Baker wants to go to Indy, that would probably be my odds-on favorite. The second most likely choice is Matt Ryan, but in either situation, they're going to have to give more than they have. They don't have any first-round draft pick capital, and I think that's what those teams would want, especially the Browns, who just traded all three of their first-round draft picks for the next 3 years. So I'm going to say that more than likely, I think it'll end up being Matt Ryan, honestly.
I'm kind of feeling Matt Ryan too, but again, it's gonna be another quarterback that's gonna be there probably for a year or two because he's I think 37 years old, so he's not the future. So I can understand if they do go away from him, but yeah, if they go Baker, I mean they're having to at least give a first rounder next year, so that's gonna be another year without Indy having a first.
Yeah.
And they've just dug themselves in the hole. It's poor management. I just don't think Ballard's good at GM, and he's proven me right all the time.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
I think they're going to end up with Mariota, though, if I'm being honest.
Mariota would probably... I could see Mariota signing with either of those teams, honestly. But if Cleveland... If Indianapolis and Atlanta make a trade, the trade I see working would be Matt Ryan, a second-round draft pick, and next year's first or whatever. And probably like Ellinger, whatever the hell his name is, or Jacob Eason if he's even on the roster anymore.
No, he's in Seattle.
Okay, then yeah, Ellinger it is, and then you bring in Matt Ryan, tell Mariota to come for a stay, probably for a year or two, or he goes and fills the spot in Atlanta, and splits time with Ellinger. Either way.
Yeah, or they could get Jimmy G because I feel like they could trade him away for a couple seconds, but I also feel like San Francisco might be hesitant to trade him just for the fact that I don't think they believe in Trey Lance.
I don't think they do either.
And I kind of don't either. I think I'd rather roll with Jimmy G.
He's
a winner. He's not exciting, but he wins you games, and that's what you need because San Francisco wasn't all that great before him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
they did the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick, but I mean that was 1 year that he had that was good.
Yeah,
and that defense is unstoppable.
Yeah, that was like the last year Patrick Willis played or something, and that man was just a beast. But yeah, no, it's either Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield, Mariota would be a good option.
I just feel like I think trading they would just have to lose too much. Where they have unlimited cap, they can overpay for Mariota or Jameis Winston or somebody.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Another year, and I could see that happening. Honestly, that would be something that the Colts would do.
They'd have to get like a sponsorship from like the senior living places because he's got the hip dysplasia or whatever.
Has he been on Indy yet? He's been on every other team.
I don't know. I think that would almost complete the full AFC South circuit for him.
Has he been to the Jags?
No, I almost. He's been to the Titans and the Texans, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So what? St. Louis, Cincinnati, Washington,
Buffalo, Tennessee,
Houston,
Miami,
Miami,
Tampa.
Oh my God! I forgot he played for Tampa. Oh man, if he goes
He
to
was pretty
Jacksonville,
good.
yeah, no, he was really good in Tampa. It didn't make any sense. Oh man, I don't
Yeah, but he's
understand.
put the gold on and everything.
Yeah, he like that was. Oh, come on, now.
Quarterbacks go to Tampa, they just get real cool.
They do. They do. I don't understand it. Tampa's just generally, it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 6.5. And then I don't understand how Ryan Fitzpatrick, of all people, can get cooler by going to Tampa.
Maybe Mariota needs to go there because that man's got no personality.
That's true. His entire personality is like, I can run, I throw ball. But
From Hawaii, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm from Hawaii. I throw football. I run football. So that's basically all I've got. Reggie! Sorry. Reggie's acting a fool in the living room.
Always.
But that's all I've got. Blake, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Folks, go ahead, like and subscribe, and be good people. This has been episode 37 of this AFC South show. Blake, thanks for coming on, man.
Adios.
Be good people.